everyone. Today, I will be discussing scientific models and the particle model of matter. I prepared this video lecture especially for my grade 7 students to help them better understand these topics. This lesson serves as a supplementary learning material for those who may need further clarification after our classroom discussion. It also provides an opportunity for you to review the lesson at your own pace and revisit important concepts anytime in the comfort of your home. So sit back, stay focused, and let's explore the fascinating world of science together. For today's lesson, our main focus will be the introduction to scientific models. Before we proceed to the particle model of matter, it's important to understand what scientific models are and how scientists use them to explain objects, processes, and phenomena that cannot be easily observed directly. Why do scientists use models? Scientists use models because they cannot always observe everything directly. Some objects and phenomena are simply too small, too large, too far away, or too complex to be seen with the naked eye. Models help scientists understand, explain, and study these things more effectively. So we have number one, too small. Some things are so tiny that we cannot see them using only our naked eyes. Examples: atoms, molecules, and bacteria. An atom is one of the basic building blocks of matter. Atoms are extremely small, so small that millions of them can fit on the tip of a pencil. Because of their size, scientists cannot see atoms with their eyes alone. To study atoms, scientists use special instruments and create scientific models. These models helps them visualize the structure of atoms and understand how atoms behave and interact with one another. In the same way, models also help scientists study molecules and microorganisms such as bacteria that are too small to be observed directly. Next is too large. Some objects in our universe are so large that it's impossible to observe or study them all at once. Because of their enormous size, scientists use models to help them understand their structure, features, and relationships. Halimbawa, Earth, Solar System, and galaxies. The Earth is too large for us to see as a whole while standing in one place. So to study its shape, continents, oceans, and locations, scientists use a globe, which is a smaller model of Earth. And the solar system is also too vast to observe completely at one time. Scientists use diagrams and scale models to show the positions of the sun, planets, moons, and other celestial bodies. Even larger than the solar system are galaxies, which contain billions of stars. Since galaxies are incredibly large and far away, scientists use computer-generated models, images, and diagrams to study their structure and movement. Third reason why scientists use models is because it's too complex. Some things are too complex because they involve many parts, processes, and interactions happening at the same time. Scientists use models and diagrams to simplify these systems and make them easier to understand. So we have here the example number one, weather system. A weather system is a complex process involving the atmosphere, temperature, air pressure, wind, and water vapor. So why do scientists use these models? For us to be able to know the weather conditions, no? We have the weather changes constantly and involves many factors. Also, scientists use these weather maps, charts, and computer to predict weather condition, just like what I've said earlier. So we have also here the Human body system. The human body system is made up of many organs working together to keep the body alive. So, why do scientists use this model? No. The human body has many connected parts that are difficult to observe all at once. So, diagrams and models help explain how organs work together. So, these models help scientists to study systems that are too complicated to understand by simply observing them directly. Examples of models and diagrams. First, globe. A globe is a three-dimensional model of the Earth. It shows the Earth's shape, continents, oceans, and locations of different places. And of course, we have the Earth structure. The Earth structure model is a diagram that shows the different layers inside the Earth. The Earth has four main layers: crust, mantle, outer core, and inner core. So, this Earth structure also has a separated topic, no? It is an example of models and diagram. So, models and diagram class, no? It helps scientists study things that are too large, too far, or impossible to observe directly. Now we have here a simple question. How can we understand things that we cannot see? Okay, so we can understand things that we cannot see by using scientific models, diagrams, and representations. Scientists create these tools to show the structure, parts, and processes of objects or systems that are too small, too large, or too complex to observe directly, just like what we have discussed a while ago. Models help us visualize hidden information, explain how things work, and make predictions based on evidence. Through models, scientists are able to study and understand the world, even when direct observation is not possible. Now let us understand what is a scientific model. Scientific model is a representation of an object, system, or processes that scientists use to explain, study, and predict scientific phenomena. It helps us to understand things that may be difficult to observe directly. A model is not the actual object or system itself. Instead, it is a simplified version that shows important parts, features, or processes of the real thing. Example, a globe is not the real Earth, but it is a scientific model that represents the shape and features of our planet. It provides a smaller and simpler version of Earth that helps us study and understand its surface. A globe class help us to understand the continents, the oceans, and locations of places. Although a globe is not the real or the actual Earth, it helps us to visualize and learn about our planet more easily. Now let's move on to the characteristics of a scientific models. First, represent reality. Scientific models represent real objects, systems, or processes by showing their important features. They help scientists and students understand something by creating a simpler version of the real thing. Example, as you can see in our picture, we have there a cell model. It represents a real cell by showing its different parts such as the cell membrane, the nucleus, and the cytoplasm. Although the model is not the actual cell, it helps us to study the structure and functions of a cell. Take note, class, that the scientific models focus on the important details needed to understand the real object or process. Number 2, explain ideas. Scientific models class help explain scientific concepts, ideas, and processes that may be difficult to understand through observation alone. They provide a visual representation that makes complex information easier to learn. Example, an atom model. It explains how atoms are arranged and shows the location of smaller particles such as the protons, the neutrons, and the electrons. Also, one of the characteristic of a scientific models, it can change, no? Scientific models can change and improve when scientists discover new evidence or information. As technology advances, class, no? We all know that scientists are able to create more accurate models that better explain how things work. Example, old models or old atom models change over time as new discoveries, as you can see in our picture, as new discoveries and improved technology help scientists understand the structure of atoms more clearly. So as you can see here, the timeline, the history timeline, no, we have a separate topic about this for us to be able to understand it well. So take note, class, no, one of the characteristics of a scientific model, it can change, no. Yung una natin kanina, it represent reality, help explain ideas, and can change. Now let's move on to types of scientific models. First, we have the physical model. From the word itself, physical, no? A physical model is a three-dimensional representation of an object, system, or structure that we can, touch, hold, or observe directly. It is usually made to show the important parts and features of something that may be difficult to study in real life. Okay, examples. Again, we have here the globe. A globe is a physical model of Earth that shows continents, the oceans, and locations of places. Of course, we have here the human heart model. A human heart model shows the different parts of the heart and helps us to understand how blood flows through the body. And of course, we have here the solar system model. A solar system model shows the arrangement and movement of planets around the sun. Take note, class, that the physical models help us to understand real objects by creating a smaller and easier to study version of them. Next, number 2, conceptual model. So what is conceptual model? A conceptual model, class, uses ideas. Take note, it uses ideas, pictures, diagrams, symbols, or drawings to explain how objects, systems, or processes work. It helps us understand the relationships and connections that may not be easy to observe directly. So we have here 2 examples. Number 1 is the water cycle diagram. A water cycle diagram shows the continuous movement of water through processes such as evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. And number 2, we have the food chain diagram. A food chain diagram shows how energy moves from one organism to another and explain their relationships between living things. So don't be confused, class. These are just an example of a conceptual framework because as we go through to our lesson or to our topic, we have of course separated topic about what is water cycle diagram and food chain diagram. We're going to of course study how the processes of evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection, even the food chain. So I'm just showing to you this one. It is because it is an example of conceptual model. Next, we have the mathematical model. A mathematical model uses numbers. From the word itself, math. It uses numbers, formulas, equations, and data to describe patterns, relationships, and changes in scientific systems. It helps scientists analyze information, make calculations, and predict possible outcomes. Examples, we have weather prediction and population growth. Weather prediction, scientists use mathematical models to analyze data such as the temperature, the air pressure, wind, speed, and rainfall to predict future weather conditions. While for population growth, scientists use mathematical models to study how populations increase or decrease over time and to predict future population changes. Take note, class, that mathematical models help scientists understand patterns and make predictions using scientific data. Last types of scientific models is simulation model. A simulation model uses computers or technology to copy or to imitate real-life situations, processes, or systems. It allows scientists, I should say, to observe, study, and predict what may happen without needing to perform the actual event. So we have two examples. These are flight simulator and climate simulation. For the flight simulator, it copies the experience of flying an aircraft. It helps pilots to practice and learn how to respond to different situations in a safe environment. And while for climate simulation, it uses computer models to study changes in Earth's climate, such as temperature or the temperature changes, weather patterns, and effects of climate change. Take note, class, always bear in our mind that simulation models help scientists study complex situations and test possible outcomes safely using technology. So, why are models important? Scientific models, class, are significant or essential because they help scientists, researchers, and professionals to study, understand, and solve problems. Models allows us to explore things that may be difficult, what else? Expensive, or impossible to observe directly. So we have here, of course, the medicine. Doctor use body models and diagrams to study organs, body structures, and how different systems work. So these models help improve medical knowledge and treatments. And of course, it's important for engineering. Engineers create models and designs before building machines. What else? Mga buildings, structures, It helps them to test ideas and identify the possible problems. So also in our environment, it's important in our environment. Scientists use models to predict environmental changes such as climate patterns, weather conditions, and effects of human activities on Earth. Not only that, of course, it helps in our space science. Scientists use models to study planets, stars, and galaxies that are too far away, to observe closely. And remember, scientific models are powerful tools that help us understand things that cannot be easily observed or studied directly. They allow scientists to create representation of real objects, systems, and processes so that we can visualize, analyze, and explain how they work. Scientific models help scientists to explain, study, and predict. So, although class, models are not the real object or not the real objects themselves, they help us discover, understand, and appreciate the hidden processes of the natural world. Okay, so that concludes our introduction to scientific models. For part 2, we will discuss the evolution of scientific models and explore how scientific ideas and models have changed over time as new discoveries and technologies emerge. So have fun learning and keep exploring exploring the world of science. You may follow my Facebook page and don't forget to like, share, and leave your comments. Thank you everyone and God bless.